Every single hook I'm about to share with you today, my team and I have actually tested them out in the wild, and they genuinely work, like for real. Most people in media buying and creative strategy still blindly follow the old rule: show your problem or product within the first 5 seconds, so the platform's algorithm knows who to target. The thing is, algorithms are constantly changing, and Meta's newer systems are really starting to lean toward content that pulls people higher up the marketing funnel. This shift means you absolutely need hooks that focus on creating curiosity and affinity before you even think about showing the final solution. We've rigorously tested thousands of creatives this year alone, and some of these hooks you've probably seen go viral elsewhere, while others are a bit more counterintuitive. I actually used one of these exact hooks on you just by the way this video began, so you might already be subconsciously nodding along. Let's dive right into the first powerful technique, which we call the investment hook. This particular hook focuses on explaining the significant time, money, or number of failed attempts someone endured before finally finding the fix, which is your product or service. These hooks are pure gold because they manage to do two critical things simultaneously. They clearly target people who have already tried other solutions and failed, and they instantly build massive trust. If a creator mentions, "I tried 10 different planners before I finally built this one," those struggling users feel immediately seen and subsequently trust the recommendation much more deeply. A very practical way to generate these powerful lines is by meticulously scanning your customer reviews and uploading that CSV file. You should specifically search for lines containing phrases like, "I tried, but it didn't work," or "I wasted months on," because those phrases are legitimate hook gold. As a pro tip, some of my absolute best creative inspiration lately hasn't been the standard ads library or even creative forums. Instead, I'm focusing heavily on YouTube titles and thumbnails and checking what is currently popping off on TikTok Shop. TikTok creators are incredibly good at direct response marketing, and their hooks are often raw, authentic, and highly effective. The investment hook is a mandatory test for any new campaign. We throw it into almost every single onboarding batch because the hit rate we see is genuinely huge. Next up, and this one is seriously hot right now, the scam hook. Seriously, the single word scam acts like a lightning rod on the feed, either stopping people dead in their tracks or making them lean in because they desperately don't want to get duped. There are two major psychological levers being pulled here: strong loss aversion, which is people hating feeling cheated, and intense curiosity. If a creator opens with, "I honestly thought this was a scam," you immediately feel compelled to watch to find out the compelling reason why it isn't. We started spiking ad spend specifically utilizing this hook in a couple of our accounts, and the results absolutely blew up our initial projections. It's one of the easiest creative swaps you can make. Just take a top-performing video and tweak the headline to lean heavily into that explicit scam language for a quick test. But hold up for a second. None of these individual hooks will gain any real traction unless you fully grasp the true underlying hook structure. The first 3 seconds of any truly effective video are not defined by just one element. The hook is actually 4 simultaneous signals firing at once. The first signal is the text overlay hook, what the viewer instantly reads before anything else registers. The second is the sound hook. This could be a distinct audio cue, a sharp music hit, or the opening tone of the voiceover itself. The third crucial element is the visual hook. This requires immediate movement, strong contrast, or something genuinely unexpected to catch the eye. And finally, the fourth signal is the vibe. This encompasses the lighting, the chosen font style, the color grading, and the overall energy of the piece. I really learned this powerful combination by watching countless creators very closely, and the lesson learned is that text alone rarely wins the battle. The core principle is still to show, not simply tell, because visual changes often move the needle far more significantly than just swapping out a few words. So, when you are editing your next set of creatives, you must prioritize what the viewer sees in frame 1. Maybe it's the lighting, an odd motion, or a very specific close-up reaction. After that visual anchor is set, you then confidently layer the necessary text and sound elements on top of it. If you're not quite a professional editor yet, this is precisely the moment where tools that truly handle the heavy lifting become indispensable for your workflow. I have personally been using a few different platforms lately, and one that consistently saves me an immense amount of time is a tool called Vizard. It's not just another generic clip compilation utility. Vizard actually auto-finds the most viral moments within a long video and spits out ready-to-post clips instantly. This capability means you can dedicate your precious time to perfecting the hook and the vibe without spending endless hours manually hunting through raw footage. Furthermore, its built-in auto-schedule feature lets you set exactly how often you want new content to go live. And the system manages the entire posting rhythm for you. And the integrated content calendar keeps absolutely everything neat and tidy so you don't accidentally publish 3 different intro clips all on the same day. When you compare this to competitors that notoriously charge per exported clip or force you into manually slicing every single asset, Vizard simply removes all of that friction. Okay, but let's get back to the core topic of hooks, specifically focusing on visuals. Here are a few visual patterns that consistently stop people scrolling in their tracks. We're talking about drip footage, like water or thick syrup lingering beautifully. Another strong one is any kind of squeeze or compression motion where an object is visibly crushed or flattened for a moment. Surreal, abstract art clips work incredibly well when you need to emphasize a strong emotional beat without using a person's face. And of course, we always include explosion clips. Personally, fruit explosions set to dramatic music are my absolute guilty pleasure for these moments. For achieving maximum immediate effect, sometimes I employ a multiple hook approach. You hit them first with a verbal or textual hook, then immediately follow it with that intense visual explosion. If you are using Vizard, you can actually batch create these specific hook variants very quickly, which is exactly why the subscription cost becomes worth it so fast. Just one more quick thing. If you ever wonder where I pull my best scripts and tonal beats from, a large portion of it is from scanning YouTube titles and thumbnails for inspiration. I maintain a dedicated swipe file filled with headlines that evoke curiosity and interesting points of view from those trending videos. This leads directly into the next very strong hook type, which is the give me time hook. This technique involves asking the viewer for a very small explicit commitment, usually something like, give me 60 seconds and I'll show you. When people implicitly agree to commit more time up front, the subsequent watch-through rate jumps significantly higher. We implemented this hook structure in one major campaign, and it quickly became the single top-spending creative for that specific brand. Number 5 on the list, and a staple of modern creative, is the POV hook. We found that between 10 and 15% of all the top-performing creatives we analyzed actually had the letters POV right in the title or the initial overlay text. This hook is even more effective when you pair it with a very strong polarizing emotion, such as, POV, you absolutely hate X. The phrase I hate is an incredibly potent trigger because it's polarizing in a way that naturally draws a specific audience in to agree. Now, let's pivot to a couple of setup structures that consistently move the needle across virtually every brand we manage: founder, content, and partnership ads. My advice is simple. Do both of these setups, but test them rigorously against each other. For founder-led content, you should test hooks like, why I actually started this company, which often loops back into that failed attempts narrative. You should also test the very direct introduction. Hi, I'm Name, and I'm the founder of brand. I know some marketing gurus will tell you that founder stories don't matter anymore, but when tested frequently, those founder intros often outperform expectations. This is because people inherently love entrepreneur stories. They feel authentic and unscripted, like a real organic clip rather than a polished advertisement. Always test having both the person's name and their title clearly present in the text overlay, because we split tested this setup and it nearly always provided a significant lift. Partnership-style ads are becoming absolutely huge this year, clearly separating the brands that successfully scale from those that just burn through cash inefficiently. If you currently lack the budget to pay major creators big partnership fees, you can still execute partnership-style posts using micro-creators, internal employees, or even happy customers. There are 2 specific hooks we consistently try within these partnership advertisements that perform very well. First are the in-action hooks, where you position the creator right in the middle of a completely normal, everyday activity like walking or cooking. This approach successfully blends your product subtly into their real life, rather than shouting at the viewer that it's an advertisement. Second are the emotional hooks, which are designed to create a strong sense of cliffhanger tension. Lines like, people were actually mad at me because of this, or why did I suddenly start crying, create that tension and force people to watch for resolution. Another highly effective hook that we see gaining traction is the classic, why did no one tell me about this sooner hook. That phrase instantly creates cognitive dissonance for the viewer because people absolutely hate the feeling that they missed out on something incredibly important. It subtly positions the speaker as an insider who possesses valuable secret knowledge that the viewer currently lacks. If you are trying to achieve an authority angle but just can't secure a major established professional yet, even a micro creator framing the information as insider knowledge will convert well. Finally, let's cover the if you hook, which is fantastic for self-selection, such as, if you are over 40 and, or if you absolutely hate wasting time on. This method shortcuts the platform's complex targeting because the viewer immediately picks themselves for you. You should test both strict demographic angles and various problem-based variants to see which resonates most with your audience segment. As a quick final note on tools, some platforms market themselves as all-in-one solutions, but often end up feeling clunky and slow in practice. They frequently charge per export. You create or hide essential scheduling features behind the most expensive premium tiers. Other tools might be cheaper initially, but they only accomplish one limited task well, like basic clip slicing, forcing you to handle captions and A/B variants manually. Vizard manages to avoid a lot of that administrative pain by auto-detecting the highest performing video bits, and then enabling you to batch variations quickly. The native scheduling and integrated calendar mean you can actually publish the content, turning your testing into real-world momentum. This speed allows you to run hypothesis-driven tests much faster. Swap one verbal hook, test a new visual, check the results, all without babysitting exports and uploads. If you are serious about building real momentum in your content performance, that speed of iteration is where the true return on investment actually lies. Ultimately, creative testing is the entire name of the game, so you should always be iterating on your hooks, swapping your visuals, and deploying multiple variants. My typical testing process involves picking 3 core verbal hooks: investment, scam, and give me time, and filming a batch with slightly different vibes and visuals. You then run all those variations through Vizard to get the auto cuts, schedule them across the coming week, and closely monitor which specific combination actually holds the audience. Most of the time, we discover that the visual hook or the general vibe is the true winning factor, so never be afraid to prioritize those weirder eye-catching shots. All right, I am super curious now to hear which of these specific techniques you are planning to try out first on your next campaign. If you need a really quick starter idea, go with the investment hook and immediately pair it with an explosion visual right on the second hook cue. That combination rewards people for staying for the story and then provides a strong visual payoff to keep them watching until the end. Also, make sure you try running a simple POV I hate variant just to see what kind of passionate tribal replies you generate in the comments. Anyway, my food delivery just arrived, so I unfortunately have to wrap this up and go eat my dinner. If you do test any of these specific frameworks, please loop back and tell me what specific results you achieved. I am genuinely always tweaking my own system. Love you all, and seriously, good luck out there making content that finally gets seen by the right people.